Welcome back to our channel, Soap fans. Today is an absolutely beautiful day to dive into the explosive madness currently detonating on our screens. We have a massive breakdown for you today, so grab your coffee and let's get straight into the chaos because the fashion world in Los Angeles is never going to be the same again. I am still trying to catch my breath after witnessing the absolute tectonic shift that just occurred right in the middle of the Forrester empire because nobody could have prepared us for the sheer magnitude of Darcy Dylan storming into that building. You have to picture the scene in your mind because it is pure cinematic gold. Darcy didn't stop at the reception desk. She didn't wait for an appointment. She marched past security with the kind of venomous, predatory confidence that only a mother protecting her child can possess. Her heels were clicking against the hardwood floors like a ticking time bomb counting down to the destruction of the Forrester family hierarchy. She was summoned to Los Angeles by her daughter Melissa Dylan, who was begging for backup after being relentlessly bullied and trashed by the likes of Katie Logan Spencer and Electra Forrester. Katie had the absolute nerve to call Dylan a gold digger. Katie looked this young woman in the eye and treated her like trash just because she spent the night with Will Spencer. Electra slapped her across the face and threatened her job. They pushed and pushed and pushed until Dylan finally made the call that brought Darcy to town. And Darcy did not come to play games. She came for war. She bursts into the CEO office where Eric Forrester is sitting behind that massive, iconic desk. The patriarch of the family. The man who built this entire legacy from the ground up. He is sitting there looking authoritative and commanding, probably still nursing his bruised ego and his bruised face from when Will Spencer inadvertently punched him at the bikini bar. Eric hates the Spencers right now. He thinks they are sleazy and greedy and beneath his family. Standing right in front of his desk is Melissa Dylan. Poor, overwhelmed Dylan. She is just standing there holding a file folder, probably trying to do her job as an assistant, feeling small and marginalized in a building full of people who look down on her. She is just a girl who used to eat out of dumpsters behind Il Giardino. She was homeless. She struggled for every single scrap she has in this life. And she is standing in the epicenter of wealth and power feeling completely out of place. Then the doors fly open. Darcy is standing there. Eric looks up in absolute shock. You can see the confusion wash over his face for a split second before the realization hits him like a freight train. Darcy doesn't even give him a chance to speak. She doesn't offer a polite greeting. She launches into a verbal assault that practically strips the paint off the walls. She looks Eric dead in the eye and tells him exactly what she thinks of his precious family and the way they have been treating her daughter. But she doesn't stop there. Darcy reaches into her designer bag with a dramatic flair that belongs in the Soap Opera Hall of Fame. She pulls out a photograph. It is an old, faded picture. You can see the worn edges. It is a snapshot frozen in time from more than 20 years ago. Darcy slams that photo down on the pristine surface of Eric's desk. She forces him to look at it. It is a picture of Eric. A much younger Eric Forrester on a secret business trip to Darcy's hometown 2 decades ago. A trip that nobody in his family knew the real details about. A trip where Eric committed a secret sin that he buried so deep, he probably convinced himself it never even happened. Darcy's voice echoes through the massive office as she points a shaking finger at Eric and then points at the girl standing frozen in the middle of the room. Darcy screams that her daughter is not some cheap gold digger chasing after Spencer money. She declares with absolute, earth-shattering certainty that Melissa Dylan is a legitimate Forrester heir. She carries Forrester blood in her veins. Dylan is Eric Forrester's biological daughter. The silence that follows that declaration is deafening. It is the kind of silence that sucks all the oxygen out of the room. Dylan is standing there paralyzed. Her eyes are wide with a horror and a shock that she can't even begin to process. The file folder slips from her trembling fingers. It hits the floor with a heavy thud. Papers scatter everywhere across the expensive rug. Every single struggle she has ever endured flashes before her eyes. She was homeless. She was starving. She was fighting for her life on the streets of Los Angeles. All of that pain and suffering happened while her biological father was sitting in a multimillion-dollar mansion drinking champagne and designing couture gowns. The psychological breakdown happening inside Dylan's mind right now must be agonizing. She isn't just a receptionist or an assistant anymore. She is a princess of the greatest fashion empire in the world. She is a Forrester. Eric is just sitting there staring at the photograph. His face goes completely ashen. All the color drains from his cheeks. The great Eric Forrester, who just went on a global live stream to brand Katie Logan Spencer and the House of Logan as a bunch of thieves, is now having his own thievery of the heart exposed to the light of day. He stole Darcy's youth. He created a child and left them in the shadows. The guilt is visibly washing over him. You can see the memories flooding back into his mind. The secret nights, the affair, the child he never knew, or perhaps the child he chose to forget. Eric has a long and messy history of affairs and betrayals, but this one takes the cake. This completely upends his entire moral high ground. He has been judging Will Spencer. He has been judging the Logans. Now his own illegitimate daughter is standing in his office holding the shattered pieces of her identity. Think about the absolute delicious irony of this situation. Katie Logan Spencer went out of her way to relentlessly bully Dylan. Katie marched into the beach house the morning after Dylan and Will slept together and viciously attacked her. Katie called her a gold digger. Katie looked at this girl and decided she was nothing but a cheap rebound trying to latch onto the Spencer wealth. But Dylan isn't a gold digger. Dylan is richer in blood and legacy than Katie could ever hope to be. Dylan is a Forrester. She outranks Katie in the grand scheme of Los Angeles royalty. Katie is going to have to eat every single nasty word she ever spewed at Dylan. Can you even imagine the look on Katie's face when she finds out that the girl she treated like garbage is actually the daughter of Eric Forrester? Bill Spencer is going to lose his mind. Bill has been trying to absorb Will into the Logan empire. Now Will is sleeping with Eric Forrester's daughter. It is a modern-day Romeo and Juliet, but with infinitely more corporate sabotage and blackmail. Eric already hates Will for punching him. Now he has to accept that Will is intimately involved with his newly discovered daughter. Eric is going to explode. This revelation does not just affect Dylan and Eric. It sends a catastrophic shockwave through the entire executive hierarchy of Forrester Creations. Ridge Forrester is going to spiral into an absolute panic. Ridge has always walked around like he is the golden boy. He is the ultimate heir to the Forrester throne. He is the dressmaker. He is the chosen one. But Ridge's own paternity is a messy web of maroon blood and scandal. Now there is a new daughter in town. A direct, biological daughter of Eric Forrester. A true bloodline heir. Ridge's position is immediately threatened. He has been worried about RJ's youth line pitch and dealing with the terrible buyer meetings in Monaco. Now he has to deal with a brand new sister who could legally demand shares in the company. She could demand a seat on the board of directors. She could demand her own fashion line. Dylan could take the entire youth line that RJ pitched for Elektra and claim it for herself. Ridge is going to be pacing the floors of the design room trying to figure out how to neutralize this threat before Dylan realizes just how much power she actually holds. Steffi Forrester Finnegan is going to have a complete and total meltdown. Steffi is already drowning in a toxic ocean of guilt. She is suffocating under the weight of her secret drunken hookup with Carter Walton. She is terrified that she might be pregnant with Carter's child. She is barely holding her life together. She is fighting a war against Hope Logan. She is fighting a war against the Spencers. She is trying to keep Sheila away from her family. And now she has a brand new aunt. A new rival for the CEO chair. Steffi has spent years consolidating her power at Forrester Creations. She fought Bill Spencer for this company. She fought her own family members for this company. Now some girl who was eating out of dumpsters a few months ago is suddenly a legitimate threat to Steffi's throne. Steffi is going to view Dylan as a massive liability. She will probably try to pay Darcy off. She will try to force them into signing non-disclosure agreements. But Darcy Dylan is not the kind of woman you can buy off with a check. Darcy wants blood. Darcy wants her daughter to have everything she was denied for the past 20 years. Look at the karma crashing down on Elektra Forrester. Elektra was supposed to be Dylan's best friend. But the second Will Spencer showed an interest in Dylan, Elektra turned into a monster. Elektra pulled rank. Elektra threw her Forrester name in Dylan's face. Elektra literally slapped Dylan across the face in the middle of the office and threatened to have her fired. Elektra walked around acting like she owned the building. Well, guess what? Dylan actually does own a piece of the building now. Dylan is Elektra's aunt. The power dynamic has completely flipped. Dylan can walk right up to Elektra and fire her. Dylan can take that jewelry line and hand it to someone else. Elektra is going to be absolutely horrified when she realizes that the girl she abused is now her superior in the family bloodline. Elektra is already tangled in a messy love triangle with Will and RJ. She is dating RJ but still magnetically drawn to Will. Now she has to watch Will fall in love with a legitimate Forrester princess. Elektra's entire world is going to crumble. Eric is going to have to make a massive choice. Does he embrace Dylan? Does he try to make up for 20 years of neglect? Eric is a man who values family above everything else. He has a massive portrait hanging in his living room to prove it. He is going to feel an overwhelming sense of guilt. He will want to bring Dylan into the fold. He will want to give her a massive office. He will want to give her a trust fund. He will probably invite her to move into the Forrester mansion. Donna Logan is going to have to deal with her husband bringing his secret love child into their home. Donna is already stressed out about the war between Brooke and Katie. Now she has to play stepmother to a girl who is a living reminder of Eric's infidelity. The tension in that mansion is going to be thick enough to cut with a knife. Darcy Dylan is the ultimate wild card in this scenario. She is fierce. She is dangerous. She is ready for war. She didn't just come to drop a bomb and leave. She came to secure her daughter's future. Darcy is going to clash with everyone. She will go toe-to-toe with Ridge. She will laugh in Steffi's face. She will march over to Logan Designs and completely obliterate Katie. Darcy is going to demand that Dylan is treated with the respect she deserves. And if anyone tries to stand in her way, Darcy will burn their lives to the ground. She has been holding onto this secret for 2 decades. She knows where the bodies are buried. She knows exactly how to manipulate Eric's guilt to get what she wants. The ripple effects of this revelation are going to tear through every single storyline on this show. Will Spencer is going to realize that the girl he slept with is the daughter of the man he just punched. Wyatt Spencer is going to have to advise his brother on how to navigate dating a Forrester heir. Bill Spencer is going to try to use Dylan to get his hands on Forrester creation stock. Bill is ruthless. He will see Dylan's newfound status as a golden opportunity for a hostile takeover. He will push Will to marry Dylan just to get a controlling interest in the company. The Spencers and the Forresters are going to be locked in a brutal, blood-soaked corporate war over this girl's inheritance. I am literally shaking just thinking about the sheer volume of drama this brings to the canvas. It is messy. It is human. It is the kind of high-stakes emotional warfare that we live for. Dylan's entire personality is going to change. She isn't going to be the timid, desperate girl anymore. She is going to find her voice. She is going to realize her worth. She might even become a villain. She might seek revenge on everyone who ever wronged her. She could team up with RJ to completely push Ridge and Steffi out of the company. RJ already wants to create a youth line. He could pivot and make Dylan the face of the brand instead of Elektra. The possibilities are endlessly chaotic. Every single conversation in that building is going to be laced with paranoia. Ridge is going to be looking over his shoulder. Steffi is going to be snapping at everyone. Eric is going to be drowning in remorse. And Dylan is going to be sitting in the middle of it all, wearing a crown she never asked for but absolutely deserves. This is soap opera perfection. It is a masterpiece of long-term storytelling and sudden, explosive payoffs. We are watching the birth of a brand new era at Forrester Creations. An era where the outcasts become the rulers. What will Ridge and Steffi do to protect their throne from Dylan? Drop your wildest theories in the comments below and subscribe for our next breakdown.